Hello folks, I'm making a homemade recipe for my discus today, and I thought I will show you how I do the whole process. So I have all the ingredients lined up here, and I've divided them in four main categories. So the first one is the hardware, second one is the protein, the meat, then vegetables, and then the additives. So we'll start with the left side. You need, of course, a few containers to hold everything together. You'd be doing a lot of blending, so you need a few spatulas, of course, a knife, a grinder, and some cling wrap. I like to cover the whole kitchen platform with cling wrap so the cleaning is a little easier. The next is the protein. I don't use any land animal protein here, so everything is from the seafood department. Shrimp, mahi, salmon, and some mussels. If you have easier access to clams, maybe they're a little better, but I don't, so I use mussels. Here's the vegetable part of the whole recipe. We have some carrots, spinach, blueberries, and some garlic. And then I like to use one ripe banana. It works as a binder. It holds everything together. Of course, blueberries are high in antioxidants, iron, calcium here, vitamin A, and garlic is just a natural anti-parasitic ingredient in here. And then in the additive section, let's start with the algae. So here I have spirulina, then I have chlorella. I just like to use a little bit of chlorella because it has a little bitter taste to it. Then I use some cricket powder in there, and I also like to add some of Dr. Tanner's Agape Explorer. It has black soldier fly larvae, and I think my fish like that. And then for multivitamins I use Vitachem, and then in the very last I like to add a little bit of paprika. And then when everything is done, towards the very end I add a couple of packets of unflavored gelatin just to hold everything together. So that being said, this is everything here, and as I go through the process I'll keep showing you guys what I'm doing. I have most of the preparations done. I have deshelled the shrimp, I have de-skinned mahi and salmon. I have cracked open all the mussels and taken out just the good part of them. Here we have blanched spinach and carrots. The blackberries are in there just like that, and then the garlic is in there, a whole banana, and then I have mixed all the dry powder ingredients as well. Now the next thing is to start grinding shrimp, and then I'm gonna start mixing some mahi and salmon with that, and towards the very end I'm going to mix this with actually the vegetable matter, so this combination would make somewhat of a puree. And then towards the very end I'm gonna mix this along with the gelatin. Okay, so this is the grinded version of shrimp, mahi and salmon. Here is the grinded version of mussels, all the veggies, all the algae, the multivitamin. And now here's where I'm mixing both of these things together. Once you have mixed everything up, the next step is to put the food in Ziploc bags and flatten them up and then put them in the freezer. And the thickness is, I don't know, probably a centimeter. And this is how I do it. I put it in the Ziploc bag and then flatten them up using one of the baking trays. Once your plates have been frozen, take them out and cut them in manageable pieces. I find these 1-inch cubes easiest to work with. What I do with these pieces of food that I just made is that I put them in a deli cup and I float them in the tank, and that usually defrosts them pretty quickly in about 5-6 minutes or so. And then once they have defrosted, you hold on to it and the fish are already waiting. Here we go. They attack it pretty good. And you would notice that I have put some Pecoltia compta juveniles in here. They also come out to eat the food. What this does, another benefit, is that one fish does not get to claim the whole food, because if you just put it in the tank, what usually happens is one of these fish, whichever one is the alpha, will come and claim the food, and then the rest of the fish have to struggle to get to the food. So what I do is I just hand feed them, and that way they all get a fair chance at eating. So as we saw, the food is gone, but as you can see, there's quite a few particles in the water column. So maybe my recipe can be enhanced. Maybe I need to add some more gelatin to it, and maybe that'll help bind everything together better. And again, I'm not saying that this is the perfect recipe. I'm experimenting with every batch that I make. I make a batch every 2 months or so. So every 2 months I'm trying to enhance my recipe. So I suggest you guys do the same thing. Try to experiment with the recipe you guys have. If you can't find one of the ingredients that I mentioned in my recipe, try to substitute it with something else. I feel like mahi and salmon are not something that you would find in every country. For example, in India, you might not find those fish because they're not found around India maybe. So try to substitute it for some other fish. Shrimp, I think, can be found at most of the places. But yeah, try to experiment with it, see what comes out of it. If your fish like it, if your fish are healthy, that's all that matters. So thanks for watching the video, and let me know if you guys have any suggestions for me in the comments.